What is going on, everybody? Dom here with another video, and this is going to be a big one. This one is going to be my experience with weed addiction, how it affected my life, what I did to get rid of it, and how it has positively affected my life ever since I completely kicked the habit of smoking weed. Quick disclaimer before we start, I've got some comments about the background noise, and just FYI, I have a big ass air conditioning unit right next to my apartment, so I'm going to be getting a mic and attach it right here. For hopefully that'll be here soon. Hopefully the videos sound a little bit better, but for now, just bear with me, and then we're gonna make do with what we got. Got a protein shake, so I'm gonna be sipping this. All right, let's dive into it. So my experience with weed addiction. I didn't grow up in an addictive household by any means, right? You know, well, let me say it like this. My parents smoked cigarettes, but they didn't smoke weed. I come from a very Army, military-oriented family, right? Very amazing support group. I had two amazing parents. I have a loving sister. My life is amazing. Honestly, on pen and paper, I am one of the more blessed kids when it came to my life. And I'm so thankful that's how it was. But I need to give you the full picture just so you can understand how weed addiction completely just steered me off the wrong path. Now, my weed addiction, or my experience with weed, started in high school. Junior year of high school, I got exposed to it through an ex-girlfriend who occasionally smoked. She was the first one I ever smoked with. I ended up greening out the first time I smoked. So for a year after that, not interested in smoking. Had no desire, because I was like, wow, this sucked. I passed out. I was in and out of consciousness for a minute, 2 minutes. I was so high, I didn't know where I was. I was throwing up everywhere. Horrible, horrible experience. Fast forward a year, me and her are no longer together, and I moved into a house with one of my best friends. And it was just us living there, and he occasionally smoked and I didn't, but then I started dabbling in it. But I didn't start dabbling in weed. I started dabbling in dabs and wax. And if you don't know what it is, it's just super, super concentrated weed in wax form that you heat up and you smoke it. It literally looks like you're doing crack. Literally looks like you're doing crack. You're not injecting anything, but if you know what a dab is, you know what I'm talking about. And it was harmless at first, right? It's like we would get home from work, you know, me and him would hit dabs, we'd play video games together, we were living alone, so it was chill vibes, bills were paid, money in the account, no big deal, right? Fast forward a little bit, me and him move out, and I'm back in my parents' house because I didn't have enough to live on my own yet. I was, how old was I? 19, 18 at this point, and I had just gotten back from basic training in AIT for the Army Reserves. I'm in the Army Reserves. Remember this, I'm in the Army Reserves. Right around COVID time, drill is canceled, so I'm not drilling. I'm not pulling up in uniform where it's all virtual. So what do? I'm with my parents in my room. I'm concealing a dab rig in my room. I'm hitting dabs as soon as I go to sleep, right? Torch on, dab in the banger. I'm inhaling it every night while I'm living with my parents, trying to hide it. And that's how I knew. I was like, oh, it's starting to get a little bad, because the first thing I think about is making sure they're asleep so I can smoke. And this is where the addiction started. I then, fast forward, I'm smoking for a couple months. I get my first apartment with my best friend. Now, me and him at this time, we were heavy into, like, you know, we're going out to parties, we're drinking, whatever. And I was doing that, but on the side, I was smoking weed all the time. So, like, we'd go out, drink. As soon as I got home, I would start smoking. Same thing, I had days off from work. First thing I do when I wake up, I'm sparking a blunt or a joint. I'm playing video games with him, then we're going out that night. So I'm always under the influence of something. I'm always a very outgoing person. I could always talk to people. That was no issue whatsoever. Fast forward a little bit, I'd say 4 or 5 months later, things are starting to change a little bit with me and my relationship with weed. No longer does it feel like it's just an occasional, like, fun. It's like, oh man, I'm excited to smoke. Now it's more so, oh my gosh, I can't wait to smoke. And that's all I was thinking about. I was an electrician apprentice at this time, still in the Army Reserves. So my day job, I was working on new construction buildings as an electrician apprentice, and then once a month on the weekends, I was in the Army Reserves, aircraft mechanic, right? And my relationship with weed started to take a turn when I noticed I would go to this job site, man, and all I could think about was getting home to smoke. It's not like, oh, dude, it's gonna be so fun, you and me. Yeah, hey, bro, when I get home, let's smoke, let's watch a movie. No, it's like I don't care who's with me. I do not care what I do. I just need to smoke. I just need the spark. And that's all it was. And then that transitioned into first thing when I wake up before work, I'm hitting my bong. I got to the point where it didn't look like I was high anymore. So I would wake up, hit my bong, go to work, in between my lunch break, hit my pen. After the couple hours of working again, I get home, smoke again until the end of the night. Smoke all night playing video games, doing nothing. Now, at this time, my roommate moved out and it's just me in the apartment. And I refused to go out anymore. I refused to communicate with people anymore that I didn't have to. Even my friend that was living in that apartment, dude, me and his relationship, I felt like was strained because all I cared about, man, was smoking weed. All I was high as fuck all the time. All of the time. Stupid high. Fast forward a little bit longer. I get another apartment with 3 friends from high school. All 4 of us, they all smoke. They've all been smoking for years. So in my head, I'm like, oh, this is perfect. Dude, a house full of smokers, y'all understand. We could smoke in the crib, whatever, no big deal. What do we start doing? I'm smoking from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep, and that's all I can think about. I started convincing myself that my life was better when I smoked weed, and my life was worse without it. Pause. So I would catch myself, before I go to the grocery store, what am I doing? I gotta get groceries, gotta smoke. I did DoorDash on the side on top of my apprenticeship, so I'd work 40, 45 hours a week, and then after I would get off work from that, I'd go DoorDash for a little bit. Oh, I got off work, gotta smoke before I go DoorDash. I would literally take a couple orders on DoorDash, and if it was like within 5-10 minutes of my apartment, I would be like, you know what, smoke break. Let me pause the app, go smoke, get back out there to like 11, 12 a.m. Now, on pen and paper, I was doing what I needed to do money-wise, right? I was doing what I needed to do money-wise, but it's because I was high all of the time. I was on autopilot. All I cared about was being high. It didn't matter what I was doing as long as I was stoned, and that was it. Now, at this time, I get a girlfriend, another girlfriend, and she smokes also, so me and her smoking all the time. And this is when I started to notice the real negative benefits, and I didn't realize it at the time. After we broke up and I stopped smoking, I realized this is what it was. The weed completely turned me off to the emotional side of her. And I don't mean turn me off in a sexual kind of way. I mean, it turned my emotions off to the emotional side of her. So I couldn't understand what she was feeling. I couldn't empathize with what she was feeling. I was not there for her emotionally at all. I was only there physically. And that's all I was there for. The weed completely numbed that side of caring and loving and empathy. It completely numbed it. I would always wonder, I'm like, why are you tweaking over that? Like, what is the problem? When in reality, all I needed to do was listen to her and understand what she's going through. But I couldn't. The weed was so numbing. That's all I cared about. That is all I cared about. And that was one of the first negative things. One of the big negative takeaways from me smoking weed all the time is I had no desire to emotionally cope with somebody. No desire at all. I didn't care. Because all I cared about was when I was going to get to smoke weed again. And that was it. So now I'm in this spiral effect where all I need to do to be happy is smoke weed. My relationships aren't making me happy anymore. It's just the weed. I couldn't eat without smoking weed. I couldn't sleep without smoking weed. I couldn't go through my day doing laundry or dishes without smoking weed. And that's how you know it's an addiction. Don't sit here and tell me it helps you calm down if that's how you're doing it. No. That's how it started for me. It's like, oh, dude, this is fun with the boys every now and again. And then it spiraled into I'm by myself and I'm high all of the time. All of the time I'm high. And I can't stop it. I just cannot stop it. So, me and her break up. Fast forward again. Remember, I'm in the Army Reserves. I am doing all of this while I'm in the Army Reserves. Not my proudest moment. I'm a better person now, so say whatever you want. That's okay. My contract ended a while ago, so it doesn't even matter anyways. But if you haven't been in the Army or the Army Reserves, the way they do drug testing is completely random 99% of the time. So what I would do is while I was smoking weed, I would take a week or two off, and it was the worst week or two of my life not smoking before drill. I would detox, take the detox kits, the drinks, the water, the apple cider vinegar, anything I could find on how to detox from weed, right? Find anything I could, and I would do that, and I would pass my test. Now, most of the time, I was getting lucky for a whole year, I didn't get drug tested, and my name never got called up. But the one thing, now we're getting into my redemption story, how I kicked weed, it was a life-changing experience, I will say that. So I'm in the Army Reserves. I have my 2-week drill coming up. If you don't know what that is, you can look it up, but it's in the Army Reserves. There's a 2-week span within the year, every year, that you go to drill, and you stay there in a hotel usually, or in the barracks, and you do your job for 2 weeks in a row, right? Monday through Sunday. And typically during these 2-week drills, you get drug tested a couple times because you have to meet a certain percentage of the unit every year. So in my head, I'm like, okay, I got a 2-week drill coming up. The chances of me getting drug tested are decently high. I need to stop. Now, just had to finish up. Now, I have 3 weeks till this drill's coming up. So I'm like, if I stop now, I'll be fine. Stop now, I drink a shit ton of water, I detox, I'll be good. The problem was, I kept convincing myself that another day isn't gonna do anything. It's only one more day that I gotta detox, it's okay. Okay, next thing you know, I have a 2.5 weeks. I'm like, dude, I got 17 days before drill. It's okay, one more day. And then I was like, okay, now we're at 2 weeks and I'm still smoking every day, same amount that I was smoking. I'm like, I'm starting to get nervous, but then the addiction's like, it's okay, you can smoke a little bit more. I get to 1 week before drill, and I finally could. I'm like, okay, dude, this is you pushed it too much. And in my head at this point, I'm fucked. Like, I am screwed. It's like, wow, I literally couldn't go 3 weeks without smoking. Every day at work, before I go to drill, agonizing despair. I'm like, if I drug test positive, I'm getting kicked out. I'm gonna have this bad mark on my record forever. I'm screwed. I'm never gonna find a good job again. Nobody's ever gonna hire me. Nobody wants to hire an untrustworthy soldier, right? So I'm buying every detox kit I can, go to drill. Now, this is before I even believed in Jesus and believed in God, and I truly think this was God looking out for me. He's like, I'm giving you a second chance here. So we got drug tested. I will never forget this. The first day of drill, and then that first weekend, that Saturday and that Sunday, 3 times. So let's say first day of drill is a Tuesday, then that following Friday, or that following Saturday and Sunday, I'm pretty sure, or Friday and Saturday, one of the two, we got drug tested 3 times in a week. First drug test, didn't get my name called. That gave me an extra week, okay? And this whole time, I'm tweaking, man. The guys are going out, drinking. The guys are, after drill, they're like, hey man, let's go grab food. I was just so nervous. I'm like, every day, I didn't know if I was gonna get drug tested. I was so tweaked out every day because I'm like, I'm an idiot. I am the dumbest guy on this planet. I'm stupid. What am I doing? And I'm detoxing every day, doing anything I can to detox. I'm literally eating everything it says to eat, drinking everything it says to drink, and I'm still tweaking. And I buy these drug tests, these fake drug tests, and I'm still testing positive a couple days after the first test. And I'm like, I'm screwed. This is it. My life is over. And I was already thinking of ways how I was going to tell my parents. I was already thinking of ways what I'm going to tell my job. I'm already thinking of ways like of how I can get my life back together, because I'm like, this is it. This is the turning point for me. My life is about to change. And by the grace of God, I do not know what happened. Friday and Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, whatever 2 days it was, I will never forget this. I come in, I see the UPL urinalysis desk or whatever, and if you know it, it's a desk with typically a staff sergeant or sergeant sitting at it with gloves on, and you're like, yep, we're getting tested today. I walk in and I see the table and my heart sinks. And I'm like, here we go, this is it. To my surprise, my name, boom, second name called. And I'm like, this is it. My name gets called, my heart is sinking, I'm sweating, I'm about to cry, I feel like, and dude, I'm just white. Like, I'm pale white. I'm like, I'm screwed, this is it. Like, do I just say something now? I pee in the cup. Okay, cool. And usually you don't get your results for a couple weeks, typically. Or yeah, a couple weeks or a week or two. Go through at the rest of the drill. I'm convinced. I'm like, yep, my life's over. That's it. The next day, UPL desk again. Get tested a second time. 2 days in a row, I got tested. Name got called up. And by the grace of God, I truly believe this was God giving me a second chance. I really think it was, because that day forward, every day I got home from drill and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna get a call any day saying I test positive. Never got the call. Never tested positive. Don't know how. It just was out of my system by then. But this moment defined the last 2 years for me. This is the moment I needed. I think this is what God was putting. He's like, you do not need this addiction. This is not for you. You need to separate yourself, because at this moment I stopped smoking weed. Boom, right there. Stopped smoking weed. Said not to touch it again. I'm done. Now that I quit smoking weed, the first 1 week, the 2 weeks after that were horrible. My appetite sucked. My sleep sucked. I was irritable with most people, and it took me a long time to get back in the groove of things, but I started noticing I had more motivation throughout the day. I was getting up with purpose, with intent, with drive. I actually understood what was coming out of my mouth, not just filler words and not just trying to get out of the conversation. I was actually talking to people again. And it took me, I would say, like I said, about a month to fully, I don't want to say get back to normal, but after a month, I'm not gonna say you don't think about it anymore, but you're no longer reliant on it. You're not thinking about it constantly like, I need to do this, I want to do this so bad. And when I stopped smoking weed, I started feeling again. Even like Instagram reels, man, I would cry on a random Instagram reel of a dog, or something like that. But that's how I noticed my normal baseline emotions were back to where they needed to be. That's where they're back to need to be. And from that moment on, I quit smoking weed. And I realized it wasn't a battle within my body. It was a mind battle, because most addictions, alcohol, nicotine, you literally physically feel the effects of the withdrawals. And weed, yeah, you got headaches, my sleep was kind of bad, but I didn't feel like my body was dying. It was a mental thing. And that's when I realized quitting smoking weed was all in my head. I kept forcing myself to believe that I needed to smoke to function, to do these things, to enjoy life, to enjoy anything. When in reality, I was enjoying life so much more beforehand, but then you get so caught up in smoking every day that's what you're conformed to. Your mind is like, this is different. Oh, now we're doing this all the time. So this is the new normal for us. So your mind convinces yourself, if you stop doing this, you are not gonna be who you wanna be. So when I tell you quitting weed is a lot easier than you think it is, truly, you are your worst enemy. You are your own worst enemy, because if you keep telling yourself you're not going to be able to function without it, you won't. If you keep telling yourself you're never going to kick the habit, you won't. If you keep telling yourself how horrible life is going to be without it, it's going to be horrible. I'm telling you, flick that joint out, dump that weed down the toilet, bro, get rid of the pen, stomp on it, because life is so much better without it. Life is so much better without it. And now, I have been clean. Well, I say clean, it's not like I was doing hard drugs, heroin, but it really affects you. It really does affect you. I was, my contract ended, for the last 8 months of my contract with the reserves, year was a smooth sailing, because I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. I'm not worried about getting drug tested. I almost wanted to get drug tested, because I was like, I'm not on anything. I'm not doing nothing. Doesn't matter. And I would say I went a whole year of not smoking after that, and I smoked 8 months ago or a year ago a couple times just to see, and to be honest with you, it sucked. When I tried to smoke weed again, it sucked. My anxiety was through the roof. My heart was racing. I was sweating. I did not feel good in the slightest. So I'm telling you, you kick the habit once, it is very unlikely that you will fall into it again, because you do not come back the same person at all. At all. And this is my plea with you guys. You need to quit that addiction, man. You need to kick that habit, because it is holding you back in every aspect of your life. Every single aspect of your life. And I didn't fully realize it was until I kicked the habit, because I have grown so much in the last 2 years. So I've grown so much more in the last 2 years than I ever did the last 4 years, 2 to 3 years I was smoking weed. and it's night and day. I am nowhere near the same person that I was. Mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, nowhere. I look in a mirror and I'm a completely different person. And I'm so thankful for it. Is that shit will kill your soul. The weed addiction will kill your soul, your drive, your emotions, your love. It will kill everything. So please, this is my plea, kick the addiction, get rid of it. It is easier than you think, I promise. And stop surrounding yourself with people who are smoking all the time. You're just gonna relapse, you're just gonna fall into it again. And that is my personal experience. Now, everybody's experience with weed can be a little bit different, but don't sit here and buy into the fact that you smoking weed every day is helping you. You're not a cancer patient. You're not in chronic pain all the time. You're smoking weed to play video games and numb the pain of whatever, your psychological damage or your emotional damage. Stop killing it with weed. And curveball, seek out Jesus, seek out God, because oh my gosh, my life when I depend on God and not weed, it is so much more fulfilling. It is so much more rich. It is meaningful. I have purpose. I'm not empty. I'm not dying. My soul isn't gasping for air. I'm full. My heart is full. And I'm always striving to be better every day. That is why I have this YouTube channel. And I know this video is kind of long, so if you stuck around, thank you. But I hope you gained something from this. You need to understand that you can overcome anything you put your mind to, and I truly mean anything. That goes for any addiction whatsoever. I have quit nicotine, I have quit drinking, I have quit smoking weed, I have quit pornography, I have quit lust, well, not really quit, you don't really quit that, but I've quit the going downtown scene, bringing back women. I have quit all of those things, and that is why this YouTube channel is a thing. Because if I had these videos when I was going through this, oh my gosh, to know that somebody went through what I went through, it truly would have made me feel better. You don't realize how many like minds are out there that are going through the same thing that you and I are going through. So that's what this YouTube channel is for. It's for us to grow. It's for me to hold myself accountable. It's to hold you accountable. It's for us to get better. Okay? So I'll leave it on that. I hope you guys got something out of this video. I know this is a little bit longer. So like I said, if you stuck around, thank you so much. Thank you for all the support, the comments, the likes, the subs, guys. I'm seeing growth in this channel, and it's truly something incredible. I love doing this. I love helping people out. I love getting the feedback. So let's just keep this ball rolling. And I pray that every one of you going through this addiction can see through it, see the light at the end of the tunnel. You understand that life is so much better without it. And life is so much better with God and Jesus in it. Okay? So I'll be praying for everybody. I hope you all have an amazing day. Have an amazing night wherever you're watching this from. And leave a comment below. Let me know if you've had a similar experience. If you noticed anything different with your journey in overcoming this addiction. And maybe we can help a couple other people out. And I'll leave it off on that. Have a good day, guys.